And so reading doesn't give you any instant gratification. The results are later. Honestly, I don't make India read. I first made myself read. I'm really inspired by his journey. वो चल पड़े जर्मनी के लिए.
How do you feel about the book to movie or book to TV adaptations nowadays?
Wow. When I'm reading Harry Potter, my Harry Potter was very different from the Harry Potter shown in the movie. मेरा वाला Harry Potter इतना handsome नहीं था. उसका चश्मा गोल नहीं था.
So out of so many books, for a beginner to start with, how does a beginner identify his or her interest in what he wants to read? Welcome to the Ashoka Podcast, the Learning Curve. I am Harshi Chugani and I am glad to have with me Mr. Amrut Deshmukh, popularly known as the Booklet Guy. You're on a mission to make India read, and that's something very, it's tremendously great. So I was wondering that reading is typically a personal choice. So how did you get that spark that motivated you to believe that everyone should develop a reading habit?
I think by nature I'm a contrarian, yeah. And I was in stock market I've been in stock market for more than 10 years, and that has taught me that if 90% people are doing something, then you do the opposite, because the success ratio is always 10%, right? Only the 10% people are very happy, very successful, and if 90% people they're what they are not doing, then do it. It's like गली के नुक्कड़ पे दो ठेले वाले हैं, एक चाट बेच रहा है, पानी पूरी, सेव पूरी, और दूसरा बेचारा फ्रूट्स और जूस बेच रहा है. Where is the crowd usually? The chat. But we all know that is in the long run it is not good for our health. So 90% will go to have the pani puris and chaats and whatever sweets. I'll prefer fruits because I know I've learned to delay my gratification. Yeah, not fall prey to the immediate pleasures. And so reading doesn't give you any instant gratification. The results are later, after 2-3 years. While reading Steve Jobs' autobiography, I'm not going to get any immediate benefit.
Correct.
Whereas watching Kapil Sharma is going to give me immediate pleasure. I'm going to laugh, right? That's the choice. I think success or failure is a daily choice between an activity that gives you instant gratification or delayed gratification. I hope you get the meaning of gratification,
correct.
The immediate results.
So, when you first began the Booklet Guy, you might have faced a lot of hurdles. So, what was that? What was the biggest hurdle that you faced? That was especially in terms of changing people's opinion and approach towards reading.
Honestly, I did not think about changing other people's opinion. The war was within me. I thought, what are my own flaws? Am I an avid reader? The answer was no. If I don't read, what right do I give myself to make India read? Then I decided the journey is inward. Honestly, I don't make India read. I first made myself read. I should be that one of those rare readers in the world who has read thousands of books, reads one book a day with an awesome speed, retains and talks a lot from what he has read from the books. So no, only then the world will reward the rare, and then I'll get the authority to inspire. So there is a beautiful quote that I read in Benjamin Franklin's biography. What you do speaks so loud that I can't hear what you say. So I believe in doing, and then through my actions, as a byproduct, as a natural consequence, people will get inspired to read. So I honestly did not do anything for people. It's about changing myself. Be the change you wish to see in others.
Awesome. That's actually quite inspiring for me as an individual as well. Now, we got to know that you were a chartered accountant at first. So, shifting from being a chartered accountant to launching Mission Make India Read, how was that? Because it's a bold move and you might have faced a lot of societal criticisms, a lot of skepticism. How was that experience?
Uh, yeah, I think it was not very difficult for me to have the switch because I come from an entrepreneurial background. My father is an entrepreneur. Um, yeah, having a CA degree and having a fat salary. My salary was like 2.5 lakh rupees a month. That was my side income. I was making more money from stock market by investing my own money. And then having that luxurious life and then getting into a frugal life where now nothing is branded on my body and not a single day went when I was in stock market, not a single shirt was below 4,000 rupees, and today nothing is more than 400 rupees. So this change actually, see, I look at education as a safety net, as a cushion to fall back, so that that will give me the power to try something that nobody has tried till now. सीए डिग्री, आई नो दैट एक सीए डिग्री वाला मुंबई में 1-2 लाख की पगार तो आराम से मिल जाएगा, आई नो दैट, राइट? सो व्हाई नॉट यूज दैट एजुकेशन एज अ सेफ्टी नेट टू ट्राई आउट डिफरेंट थिंग्स. चला तो चला, नहीं चला तो नौकरी है बाद में, राइट? एवरीबडी, सब लोग नौकरी कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा अलग करके देखते हैं. सो आई डिड नॉट थिंक टू सीरियसली, आई डोंट टेक लाइफ टू सीरियसली. जो भी ये करके देखते, आई लव दिस फ्रेज, नेताजी सुभाष चंद्र बोस यूज्ड टू से, करके देखो जो होगा देखा जाएगा. आई एम रियली इंस्पायर्ड बाय हिज जर्नी. वो चल पड़े जर्मनी के लिए, टू वेज अ वॉर अगेंस्ट ब्रिटिश आउट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. अकेला बंदा चला, एकला चलो रे, करके देखते हैं जो होगा देखा जाएगा. आई मीन लव विद दिस फ्रेज. दैट्स व्हाट आई हैव बीन डूइंग. I don't have any long-term plans. 10 years down the line, Amrut, where do you see yourself? I don't care. My today's to-do list is clear, and I'm working. So when somebody asks me, Amrut, what are your plans? What are you doing next? My only answer is, I'm working on my to-do list. उसके आगे मुझे समझता नहीं है और करना भी नहीं. Like right now, on my to-do list is to talk to Harshi with a lot of enthusiasm and empty myself of whatever I've read and share my thoughts. That's all.
Great, that's so great. Now, especially for the people around me, I've always noticed they don't prefer reading. They always prefer watching. If there is a big, like a long whole series of Harry Potter, a person would prefer watching the movie instead of reading the whole long series. A person would prefer watching Willy Wonka instead of reading the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So, how do you feel about the book to movie or book to TV adaptations
Wow.
nowadays?
Harshi, you have perfectly used those two words, reading and watching. यहीं पे सब कुछ है. See, our brain is always on the outlook to save energy. Given a choice between tough and easy, the brain will always choose the easy one.
Easy one.
What will you choose? A motorbike or a cycle? A motorbike, if you know how to ride, right? Between walking and cycling, cycling. Between sitting and walking, sitting. Because the brain wants to save energy always. Because if you need energy to decide पहले कौन से पैर पे socks पहनना है, if you need energy, brain will go mad. It has to go on autopilot mode so that it can save energy for other major functions like digestion, etc. Having said that, between reading and watching is easier because I don't need the willpower to imagine. I don't have to create my own world now. When I'm reading Harry Potter, my Harry Potter was very different from the Harry Potter shown in the movie. मेरा वाला हैरी पॉटर इतना हैंडसम नहीं था, उसका चश्मा गोल नहीं था, राइट? उसका चेहरा गोल नहीं था. वो वाज एन इंडियन चैप, रूरल गाय, और झाड़ू भी था जिसके ऊपर वो उड़ता है ना, वो झाड़ू मेरे घर का पुराना झाड़ू था, फालतू. whereas वो वाला झाड़ू was beautiful in the movie, right? Now, coming to the point, Einstein has said, knowledge is not power, imagination is power. That blew my mind. It took 6 months for me to investigate in this line. Why imagination is power? Why not knowledge? Yeah. So when you are watching a movie, you are surrendering your thinking power to that director's imagination, and brain loves it because अभी हमको rest मिल रहा है ना. See, so you stand behind the TV and watch the person who is watching the movie. The person will look like a zombie. No, it's a dull, dull face. Are you getting my point? Why? Because imagination and thinking is one and the same. Huh? They are not two different things. We always think in pictures. Imagination and thinking is one and the same. Then when we are watching, we are not thinking. वो हमको मजबूर करता है, and they want us because उनको वो पैसा मिल रहा है. They don't want us to think. Reading keeps your imagination on. Now my tiger will be different from your tiger that you are reading. But once we start watching a movie, now तेरा मेरा tiger नहीं वो उसका tiger है. Got it? And our thinking shuts down. That's why after watching a movie or a cartoon film, we never get questions. Do you get questions? कभी रील देखते हो किसी को देखा है पेन और पेपर लेके रील देख रहा है? Never.
Yeah.
You don't feel like मतलब दिमाग में ही नहीं आएगा पेन और पेपर लेके रील देखना है क्यों? Out of question, right? Why? Because we don't think while watching videos. Now, watching our video is not a drama. It is as good. Thinking power, imagination चालू है तो the person who is watching our video वो चलेगा. Watch interviews, podcast, conversations, but don't watch those drama created videos which convert the text into some drama.
Sir, now around me, of course, around all of us, we have people of different age groups. So, how does one particular book, the same book, impact the different age groups? Seniors, young adults, toddlers, kids, children, school going kids. How does it affect all of them in terms of the lessons they learn, in terms of the choices they make, in terms of the experience while reading the book?
Wow, I think that's a great question. I think one book, which was Rich Dad Poor Dad, for the first time I read when I was in 10th, gifted by my elder brother. Then again I read after my TY BCom, and again I read 2 years ago. Completely different perspectives. Because as I get wiser, day by day, year by year, as I get older, of course I look at with a new perspective, right? And the more accumulated knowledge that I get from the more books, the more perception changes. Like my book number 5 of my life and book number 1856th book has a lot of difference, of course. If I am so many thousands of books old, many of things will become irrelevant, repetitive. यार ये तो पता है, ये तो मालूम है, this is old wine in new bottle. Now I want more. Now, interestingly, Harshi, the more books I am reading, the more books I am leaving half read. Confidently that I'm not going to miss out anything because of the thousands of books that I've read. Get my point?
Yeah.
It's not about age, huh? It's about the number of books. So, Rich Dad Poor Dad, if it is your 8th book, and Rich Dad Poor Dad for a guy for whom it is 1000th book, a lot of difference. Of course, age to aayega because I'm older to you. That's why that gave me the opportunity to read more books. So, I hope you get my point.
So now, as you said, there are so many books. You've yourself read more than 1,800 books now. So, out of so many books, for a beginner to start with, how does a beginner identify his or her interest in what he wants to read, in what he would like reading?
See, problem kya hua hai? I mean, with due respect, our education system has somewhere taught us everything has to be methodical, linear. You know, junior KG, senior KG, first standard, fifth standard, 10th standard. But honestly, the growth never happens this way. There is no linear function. It's chaos. It's chaotic. Just imagine changing the system. First, you are in fifth standard, then suddenly you are sent back to third standard, and then 10th standard. But if you actually see people's growth, successful people like Swami Vivekananda, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos, it's all chaotic. It's random, right? So there is no beginner reader, intermediate reader, advanced reader. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Take any damn book which is lying around you. Get started. Read few pages, 1 page, 2 pages. Judge it. Don't judge the book by its cover. It's a famous quote. Judge it after reading 3 pages. Fair enough. If you understand, if you like, continue or you'll just leave it. But take the next book then. Even if you quit the book, don't quit reading.
Now, in my personal experience, my family, relatives, residential friends, schoolmates, most of them do not like reading. Even in our own library periods, children are just talking the whole time because they're like not interested to read. They are not really willing to read any book. They just take it for the sake of issuing a book. So, for a person like that who does not like reading at all, what would you tell them?
First of all, congratulations that you are one of those 10%. So be proud of it that nobody is reading in your family or friends, and you are an avid reader. You have won the half of the battle here itself, right? As I said, You are a contrarian. You are part of that top 10%. Uh, See, the best way to say shut up to the world is to produce results. So when you, and since you are an avid reader, you just talked to me before this
Yeah.
podcast. We had a discussion that nobody reads in your family. I see your future. It's very bright because I don't care what kind of books you read. You will navigate. Your taste will change as you grow. If you're a teenager, you'll be more towards Dan Brown, Percy Jackson, or Harry Potter, and then you will fall in love with self-help books like Rich Dad Poor Dad and Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I know the trajectory. I can predict the trajectory in future, and you will turn out to a different person altogether. And then your parents, your siblings, your friends will understand. Oh, this is the delayed accumulative effect of reading, which unfortunately we can't pinpoint कि अच्छा ये book की वजह से मुझे आज ये success मिला. No, right? No, how cancer develops. Now I'm giving a negative example. You can't pinpoint cancer हुआ क्योंकि मैंने 10 साल पहले 2 महीने से बिस्किट्स खाए थे, sugary biscuit. इसलिए nobody, doctor will never say this, but we all know. Yeah, it's a lifestyle disease. No, diabetes is a lifestyle disease. So I think, although I don't have a precise answer to your question, I hope my message is loud
Yeah, I
and
know.
clear.
Correct. Now, as we wrap up, what would be your final advice to those who are trying their best to build a consistent reading habit?
Hmm. See, our brain hates big, humongous tasks, projects. No? If I ask a non-reader, not to you, to read a book of 300 pages, अरे बाप रे, will be the first reaction. Yeah, because brain doesn't like, as we discussed, brain loves simple, easy tasks. Yeah, so let us break it down into a goal of 1 page. What if I ask you, Harshit, you have to read only 1 page? Instead saying on that 1,000 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, 10 kilometers running, and 1,000 rope jumps. Arey baap re. But if I break it down to 2 push-ups, Hershey will say, अरे कर दूंगी ना, उसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है. Now, the beauty is there where the momentum, what is more important is momentum and not motivation.
Hmm.
Motivation comes later. First comes action. We think that motivation leads to action. No, action leads to motivation. That action has to be a tiny, stupid looking activity of not more than 1 minute. And when you get started and you read that 1 page, you are naturally motivated to read the second page. After doing those 2 push-ups, you get the natural momentum to do the third push-up. पता नहीं उसमें क्या जादू है in action. Law of inertia. You love to be in the state in which you are. अगर सो रहे तो उठने उठने का मन नहीं करता है, जाग रहे तो सोने का मन नहीं करता. I think the law is omnipresent everywhere. So we can use this innate human tendency, the inertia. Whenever I feel low, I just open it and I literally fold that page number 2. मुझे इतना ही पढ़ना है. So now the entire need of willpower goes down. I don't need the willpower to read 1 page. So I get started. At least open the book in spite of feeling low. And hence, Harshi, you must have observed that why do we share those WhatsApp jokes on WhatsApp? Why we like that video on YouTube? Why we comment that one line on Instagram? These things are so tiny, stupid looking activities of not less than 30 seconds. They don't need willpower, right?
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for taking out, just a little bit of time from your busy schedule.
I really enjoyed. I
And
mean, it were very deep questions, and this is my book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers, available on bookletguy.com. And I've talked about speed reading, how to remember. So I'll just read out the last page, and if this resonates with you, then the book is for you. So the book is for you if you say, I doze off after reading 5 pages. I don't remember what I read. I don't get enough time to read books. हम सब अंबानी के औलाद है ना. I am a slow reader. I have left many books half read. Which book should I read? So I think these are all the reading problems which I think, as Booklet Guy of India, it was my national duty to solve these problems, because even I was part of this problem. I used to doze off while reading. So all the creative solutions I found manifested into these 7 habits of highly effective readers.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. I'm sure all our listeners are going to take at least some tips from this session today, and we're looking forward to you motivating more and more readers in the upcoming years.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Bye bye. Happy reading.